The story of the little people in Hollywood has often been one of typecasting, limiting talented performers to roles as creepy dwarves, trolls, or magical munchkins. Yet, one figure transcended this boundary with pure charisma and physical comedy, Verne Troyer. He was the universally loved actor who made the character Mini-Me an international icon in the Austin Powers movie franchise. Mike Myers called him a great physical comedian and a fantastic guy. Verne's life was a testament to beating the odds. He was born with a rare genetic disorder and was not expected to live past his teens. He defied his initial prognosis, living a vibrant life. He drove cars, owned a custom-built house, and achieved global fame. But behind the funny roles and the social media popularity, he was fighting a hidden war. The constant struggle with his size fueled severe underlying physical and mental health issues. His life ended tragically, not in a grand cinematic fashion, but in the quiet, devastating manner of a personal defeat. His death was officially ruled a suicide by alcohol. This is the story of Verne Troyer, the man who brought the world laughter but couldn't escape the demons that led to his fatal alcohol poisoning. The life of Verne Troyer began with a dramatic fight for survival. Born on January 1, 1969, in Sturgis, Michigan, he was the second of 3 children. Around the age of 1, doctors discovered he had cartilage hair hypoplasia, CHH, a rare genetic disorder that affects the long bones and causes lower extremity abnormalities. The condition is hereditary and commonly found in the Amish community. Verne Troyer would reach a maximum height of 2 feet 8 inches, making him one of the shortest men in the world. Tragically, he wasn't expected to live past his teens. As an infant, he suffered a severe health scare when he was found unresponsive in his crib with his chest caved in due to a lack of oxygen. His parents, who were of the Amish faith, faced a terrible choice. Getting to the hospital required using a horse and buggy, which would have taken too long. They rushed him in his aunt's car instead, violating their strict religious rules. At the first hospital, doctors said nothing could be done, but his father rushed him to a second hospital, where an oxygen tent saved him. Following this incident, his family left the Amish faith, citing the strict rules and hypocritical views. Growing up in the small area of Centerville, his parents treated him no differently than his average-sized brother and sister. They required him to do all the typical farm chores, like hauling wood and feeding the farm animals. Verne Troyer later credited this upbringing with making him stronger and more confident. School life was generally smooth. He was popular due to his size. He once punched a kid in the face and gave him a bloody nose after being called the M-word, but otherwise, he thrived, even joining the wrestling team with his brother and being crowned prom king. The spark for his career ignited when he watched the movie Willow. Inspired by seeing other little people in showbiz, Verne Troyer was determined to make it too. After graduating high school, he moved to Texas, a culture shock after his Amish upbringing. He took jobs at a candy wrapping factory and as a customer service operator at Sprint. His entry into the entertainment industry was accidental. A friend who worked for a non-profit organization called Little People of America told him they needed a short person to be a stunt double for a 9-month-old baby in the movie Baby's Day Out. Verne took the job, was flown to Hollywood, and they loved him. This led to more roles, including Dunstan Checks In and Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He played Pinocchio's miniature double in Pinocchio's Revenge and appeared in Men in Black. In 1999, his life was completely transformed by the iconic role that would define him. The year 1999 marked the moment Verne Troyer became a global cultural phenomenon. His casting as Mini-Me in Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, fundamentally changed his life, transforming him from a versatile stunt double into an internationally loved star. The character was initially conceived by Mike Myers, who played Dr. Evil, as merely a prop. However, Verne Troyer performed so well and impressed Myers that the team began writing more material specifically for him, despite him having no lines in the movie. The film was a colossal hit, grossing over $300 million at the box office. The performance earned Verne Troyer and Mike Myers an MTV Movie Award for Best On-Screen Duo. He quickly became a well-known celebrity, enjoying popularity, fame, and attention from women. He lived his life to the fullest, driving custom cars and owning a house with everything specifically made for his size. This success led to a string of other high-profile roles in the entertainment industry. He appeared in the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, which also surpassed $300 million in box office revenue. In 2001, he took on the role of the original Grip Hook, in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, part of a series that has grossed over $1 billion. The Mini-Me icon returned in 2002 for Austin Powers in Goldmember alongside Mike Myers and Beyoncé, a film that, once again, grossed over $300 million. However, at the height of his fame, a destructive pattern of behavior began to emerge. In 2002, he met Playboy model Genevieve Gallon at Hugh Hefner's mansion. Just months into the relationship, and after they had broken up, Verne Troyer was hospitalized after suffering a near-fatal incident of alcohol poisoning. Though they later reconciled and married in 2004, the union was catastrophic. The marriage lasted less than 24 hours before Genevieve filed for divorce. She alleged that Verne Troyer was a sex addict, an alcoholic, and physically abusive. She claimed they would engage in sexual activity up to 10 times in a single date. The relationship highlights the immense pressure and inner turmoil plaguing the celebrity behind the humorous Mini-Me persona. After their breakup, the emotional toll on Verne Troyer was immense, leaving him heartbroken and causing him to almost drink himself to death again. The struggle to manage his personal life and underlying physical and mental health issues was clearly escalating, despite his outward professional success. The turbulent personal life of Verne Troyer played out as a dramatic clash between his joyful public persona and a crippling internal struggle. His history of alcohol abuse and depression was a shadow that perpetually followed his fame. In 2007, he began dating actress Renee Schreider. She recounted a stark Jekyll and Hyde duality to Verne's personality. On one side, he was fun, silly, and had a great sense of humor. On the other, she described a horrible, mean-spirited person who is angry at the world. Schreider claimed he would order her around like a slave and refuse to do anything for himself. She stated that he would drink himself nearly to death to try and forget how depressed he is. With his small body frame, it did not take much for him to become severely drunk. His girlfriends often spoke about his pattern of drinking himself almost to death. The most damaging breach of his privacy occurred in 2008 when a 50-minute sex tape featuring Verne Troyer and Schreider surfaced. Schreider was accused of leaking the video to TMZ to profit from it. Verne Troyer and his lawyers swiftly sued TMZ and the individuals involved for invasion of privacy and copyright infringement. This public humiliation underscored how easily his personal life could be exploited by those around him in the ruthless entertainment industry. His emotional instability led to further legal conflicts. In 2009, a former beauty queen, Yvette Monet, filed a restraining order against Verne Troyer, claiming she feared for her life, alleging he was stalking her and owned a gun. Facing these repeated crises, Verne Troyer finally acknowledged his severe drinking problem and checked himself into rehab multiple times. His struggle became a very public battle against his profound physical and mental health issues. The life of Verne Troyer resonated globally, yet it was ultimately a devastating example of an individual battling severe physical and mental health issues while navigating the unforgiving glare of the entertainment industry. As Mini-Me, he brought joy and comedy to millions, successfully shattering the industry's traditional typecasting for little people. Yet, his early life was marred by life-threatening health struggles and the trauma of growing up within a restrictive environment that his family felt compelled to leave. His fame, while empowering, could not heal the deep-seated depression. His severe alcohol abuse was a direct reflection of his internal war, a desperate attempt to cope with being perpetually angry at the world and extremely self-conscious about his size. His partners often observed this destructive coping mechanism, noting that he would drink himself almost to death. From a cultural perspective, Verne Troyer's experience reflects the darker history of how Hollywood has historically treated performers with dwarfism. The enduring rumors surrounding the little people in The Wizard of Oz, allegations of being paid less than the dog Toto and engaging in drunken orgies, highlights a troubling history of exploitation and objectification. Even as a global star, Verne Troyer was not immune to exploitation, demonstrated by the very public and humiliating leak of his sex tape by his former partner. His story is a powerful, modern cautionary tale that fame, wealth, and international recognition cannot substitute for genuine physical and mental health support. It underscores how the pressures and excesses of the entertainment industry can exacerbate vulnerability, tragically culminating in his final act of self-destruction. The final chapter of Verne Troyer's life was a desperate, public struggle against the demons of addiction and depression. He had battled alcohol abuse for some time and sought help, checking himself into a treatment center. Tragically, despite his best efforts, the inner turmoil proved insurmountable. In the weeks leading up to his death, Verne was hospitalized after a friend called the police, reporting he was extremely upset, drunk, and suicidal. In a heartbreaking final act, Verne called 911 himself, telling dispatchers that he wanted to die. He was taken to the hospital, where his system contained alcohol at 3 times the legal limit for driving. He was placed on a 72-hour involuntary psychiatric hold. Sadly, his internal organs began to fail. With no sign of improvement, his family faced the agonizing decision to take him off life support. On April 21, 2018, Verne Troyer died at the age of 49. His death was officially ruled a suicide by alcohol poisoning, which caused multiple organ failure. It was a terrible end for a man who had defied his medical prognosis. He wasn't expected to live past his teens but beat the odds. The man who brought us the iconic Mini-Me and lived a life of extraordinary fame was ultimately consumed by his long-running battle with physical and mental health issues. The enduring legacy of Verne Troyer is dual: the joyful, unforgettable physical comedian who achieved global stardom, and the tragic figure whose life serves as a stark warning about the devastating reality of untreated depression and alcohol poisoning. His story is a poignant call for compassion and vigilance regarding physical and mental health. If the story of Mini-Me's brave fight against depression and his tragic end due to suicide by alcohol resonates with you, please comment, "Help," below to support awareness for those struggling with mental health issues.